He's got it, wants to throw. Wentz looks, pressure comes. Wentz hit, sack, back inside the 20. Aiden Hutchinson, that's number 2.
Welcome back to the Big D Pod, y'all. We got a little bit of a Thanksgiving episode for you. So quick shout out, happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. Hopefully you're having some nice time, ignoring that annoying uncle and weird aunt and eating some good food. Speaking of food, Benjamin, favorite dish at Thanksgiving?
Oh, you got to go with the stovetop stuffing. Not that homemade stuff. Stovetop.
Oh, stuff me.
Stovetop stuffing is 100% the best stuffing in the world.
I totally agree
had
with you.
This homemade stuffing a couple years ago. It was atrocious. I'm sorry if the person...
Dude, it always sounds good to make homemade stuff, but no.
It's not always better. I'm sorry if the person that made it is listening.
Sometimes it's so dry.
I feel so bad, but I'm sorry. Stovetop is 100% better.
It's so dry sometimes.
I can't do homemade stuffing. Stovetop is so much better.
Yeah, so when Ben and I used to be at his cabin, we would rip Madden till 12:30 or 1 a.m. And we'd be like, dude, we're so hungry. But we're in the rural UP, so there's not like you could drive to Taco Bell at 1 a.m. in the morning. No. You gotta scavenge the pantry, all right? And there's one night we scavenged the pantry, found a bag of stovetop stuffing. We're like, yep, that's it. And we made that, and it was the best thing ever. And then I'm pretty sure the next night we went to Dollar General and got another package of stovetop stuffing so we could eat it that night. And dude, it slapped so hard. And now it's just like a meme in our family that we have to have stovetop stuffing for just random late nights, whatever we're doing.
No, my mom was talking about it the other day, talking about Thanksgiving dinner and everything like that. And she was talking about this stuff, and I go, it better not be homemade, because if it's homemade, you know I'm going to be mad. It needs to be stovetop.
Gotta be stovetop, dude. I'm a big fan of stuffing. I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day, and I said my favorite thing was stuffing, and she goes, yeah, my favorite thing is the sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top. And I was like, garbage. Also, apparently, I know this is a Southern thing to call it dressing and stuff, but apparently, do you know why it's called stuffing?
Mm-mm.
Because you used to make it by stuffing it inside of the turkey.
No, that's people.
I didn't even know that,
make
bro.
It the way it gives it more. It gives the flavor more. It gives it better flavor because
it gives the flavor more.
My brain shut off. I've been up since 2:45.
We're already in shambles, and we're 3 minutes into the episode.
I've been up since 2:45 this morning. We're running on caffeine, but we got this. Got to get this one out to you guys. Thanksgiving special,
and this definitely is our first take.
But yeah,
we're gonna jump into NFL Pick'ems. Ben's gonna host a segment. Let's hop on over.
All right, NFL Pick'ems. We got the first pick of the week, and we got the Lions versus the Green Bay Packers at Detroit. Thanksgiving tradition for the Lions. Who you got?
If you can believe it, I actually have the Detroit Lions.
I don't know.
I just shook so hard that my headphone came on.
I don't know if I believe you. I feel like the Packers are the clear takeaway in this game. I don't know how you could pick the Lions. The Lions are garbage. We're only 8-2.
Yeah, dude.
Should be 10-0. Like, what the hell is this season?
Packers are on a tear.
I hate this season.
Packers are on a tear.
Right
They're
now.
2-5 in their last 7.
Yeah, but I'm taking the Detroit Lions because I ain't ever touching the Packers. And also, it's the Detroit goddamn Lions. We're Lions fans here.
Never not gonna
pick.
Lions on a tear right now. More people gonna be watching this game than ever. Lions will staple themselves as Super Bowl threats tonight in front of everyone.
Oh, 100%.
The Packers are also The Packers are also 1-4 on the road this season, and Jordan Love's been atrocious. So clear cuts here.
I mean, did you see the first game we played against them? So yeah, it's going to happen again. We're beating them by more this time, and we were in Lambeau Field last time, and we killed them. What do you think they're going to do when they come to our house? Our house. They ain't touching us.
Rocked.
They ain't touching us.
Getting bricked.
All right, but we'll talk more about this game later in the episode. But next game on the slate, moving on.
Of course.
We have the Washington Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys.
Anyone with more than 4 brain cells will pick the Cowboys. They are 7-3 this year against the Commanders, who are 4-7. Thanksgiving, I think I had to pick the Cowboys anyway, just because it's Thanksgiving. This team looks very good since the deadline. The Commanders' defense has been absolutely horrific. The Cowboys look insane all around, offense, defense, you name it. They still have yet to get a run game going, but they haven't had to do that yet. So, but I know they can. They got the O-line and the running back to do it. And I honestly think this will be a blowout, like a cold blood murder on Thanksgiving. This is going to be it. Also, do Commanders fans even exist? I've never heard of a Commanders
Man,
fan.
I don't even know at this point. But let me tell you, one guy who's a Commanders fan this week is me. Call me the 4 brain cell warrior, but I am taking the Washington Commanders to beat the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas on Thanksgiving. My boy Sam Howell is about to go off versus them. Scary Terry about to have over 100+ yards.
Cancel the pod.
Brian Robinson over 100 yards. Tony Pollard being held under 75. Yeah.
Okay. He does that every
Tony Pollard being held under 50. CeeDee Lamb catching 4 receptions for, I'll say, 64 yards.
112 yards.
64 yards. 0 touchdowns. We're going the Commanders. No doubt about it. On to the next game. We got...
Can you name me a Commanders defensive cornerback? Or
Sean Taylor. Okay.
Sean Taylor. My man goes Sean Taylor.
All right, next game. We got the 49ers versus the Seahawks.
I actually had the 49ers here away versus Seahawks on Thanksgiving at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Purdy just posted the perfect passer rating last week, by the way. So I can't argue with that. And this D-line just unbelievable. 4 sacks last week, 5 the week before, and even more QB hits. And Geno Smith's actually back this week, but he's not fully healthy. And I think the 49ers are going to be inside him all inside him all game. Yep, taking the Niners. No sus words at all.
All right. Well, I also took the 49ers in this game. Brock Purdy's perfect passer rating last week. You can't bet against it. And also, this defensive line versus this Seahawks trash O-line, they're just going to get to Geno Smith probably 95% of the plays. I don't see...
Who's already hurt.
I don't see Kenneth Walker doing much this game against the D-line. And I really don't they're going to have to throw short passes.
What about Zach Charbonnet?
Zach Charbonnet, Michigan GOAT. He's going to have more rushing yards than Kenneth Walker this game. Better performance. But, yeah, I don't see how the 49ers lose this game. So, going on to the next one, we have the Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets, who are starting Tim Boyle as their starting quarterback, by the way.
Yep, and for that reason, I'm taking the Dolphins on Black Friday at 3 p.m. there in New Jersey there against the Jets. I'm done picking the Jets. I pick the Jets a lot in these pick'ems, and they let me down every week. So, and the Dolphins always beat teams who are below 500. Enter the Jets. They are below 500. Surprised. I watched Tim Boyle as a Lions fan, and I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Yeah, I got the Dolphins too in this game. One reason and one reason
Nice.
only. Tim Boyle as a Lions quarterback was the worst season I've ever watched. It was worse than our 0-16 season, honestly. I'd rather watch paint dry than watch Tim Boyle play quarterback. So I got the Dolphins in this game by a heavy margin. Tyreek Hill going to destroy Sauce Gardner. But moving on, we have the Jags versus the Texans. Who you taking?
Give me the Texans at home against the Jags. CJ Stroud had 3 interceptions last week. It's a little bit concerning. However, they still won. So I still think that he still had a good game, too. I think he had 2 touchdown passes with over 300 passing yards. Still a pretty good game, 3 interceptions. Goff had 3 interceptions last week, too. They won. So I'm going to take CJ Stroud and the Texans. Tank Dell is like breaking records right now, and I expect nothing less this week versus a Jags defense who is 29th in pass defense. Can you name a Jags cornerback for me?
Jalen Ramsey 5 years ago.
That answers my question. Who you got?
I actually have the Jags in this game. Trevor Lawrence gonna sling that thing against Houston. CJ Stroud gonna throw another 3 interceptions to the atrocious Jags secondary. But real quick, talking about Tank Dell, this man is on pace to have one of the best rookie wide receiver seasons. Thank you. I don't know what I was trying to say. Rookie wide receiver seasons. And he's not even in the running for offensive rookie in the year because of his quarterback. His quarterback's too good.
Yeah.
But yeah, still taking the Jags in this game. I don't know why, but T-Law.
Good analysis.
But next game, we got our
Trevor Lawrence's hair is stupid.
Don't disrespect my man like that. Don't disrespect my man like that.
I say that every week. But
going on to a rival game, we got the Steelers versus the Bengals. Who you got?
This is a 1 p.m. game in Cincinnati. I'm taking the Steelers. Even though Matt Canada's gone, they still need to run the ball a lot because the Bengals are 31st in run defense. And the Steelers have been running the ball really well. Their 2 running backs there have been sharing the ball well, and they kind of got like the 1-2 punch going there. Now, I'm a fan.
Not as good as David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, though.
Never. Throw some good plays in there for once, and then I think they'll win by $1 billion. I'm officially out on the Bengals, too. Their defense is just absolutely atrocious, and every week they look good. The next week they look terrible.
Joe Burrow's out for the season.
I'm done.
And Joe Burrow not being at quarterback is the reason I'm also taking the Steelers this week. You got TJ Watt coming off the edge against the atrocious Cincinnati Bengals O-line that hasn't been good since Joe Burrow.
Who's the Bengals quarterback? Is it Jake Browning this week?
I got no idea. If it's Jake Browning, Steelers by $1 million.
Or wait. Or did they sign Joe Flacco to play this week?
Either way, at this point,
Josh Dobbs style.
Steelers, 100%. I don't know how you could. I understand Steelers' offense is pitiful, but they did get rid of their offensive coordinator.
It's the Browns. The Browns signed Joe Flacco. That's what it was.
But the Bengals just have not been looking good this season. Defense has not been looking good. No pass rush, really. But besides, they give up 17 sacks per game. You see pass rush in the game, but it's not on the Bengals side of the ball. Yeah.
Speaking of terrible
teams, let's get into the Carolina Panthers versus the Tennessee Titans.
Dude, this might not even be the worst game of the week. There might be
a worse one. Oh, there is.
I'm riding the train that I'm the only one driving, and it's the Panthers. I think I've actually picked them every week we started this. It paid off one time, and since then, nope. But if they are going to win another game this year, It's going to be this one. So I have to pick them. They will be the Titans. And no one's talking about the Titans because there's just nothing to talk about. They're talking about the Panthers because they suck. The Titans suck, but they're just like a non-flashy suck. So I think the Panthers take this one. And if they don't win this week, I'll probably never pick them again.
Yeah, I also have Carolina in this game.
You're picking the Panthers.
I got the Panthers.
Yeah.
I'm hopping on the train.
Yeah.
Hopping on the train. I'll be the only other passenger on this train.
I got
Carolina in this game. Carolina, like, they're bad, but I feel like Carolina is honestly a couple plays away from being a much better football team. Just a couple plays. Whereas the Titans,
a couple quarterbacks away.
The Titans, man, I got no idea what they're doing. I got the Panthers taking this one. And honestly, I hope the Panthers do, because that means the Bears get a worse draft pick, because the Bears have Panthers draft pick after they got absolutely fleeced.
We're big Panthers fans.
But so I got the Panthers in this game. But moving on, we got the Saints versus the Falcons. Another heater.
I'm gonna, in this insane NFC South matchup here, I'm taking the Saints. Just so you know, the NFC South this year is 14-26. That's still more wins than the Pistons this year. This is we'll have this year. This is atrocious, this game. If the Falcons win, they tie the NFC South for the lead with the Saints. These are the two top teams in the NFC South. That won't happen. That can't happen. There's no way we can have losing record teams first in their division. I can't. There's no way. The Saints have to win, even though Winston's playing. I don't like this, but I have a feeling in my gut the Saints are going to win. They're both coming off buys this week. I feel like the Saints are a better coach squad. However, on paper, you look at the Falcons roster, and it's pretty good. How are they 4-6? I don't know. They should be running this division, but they are not. They have no quarterback and no coach. So I'm going to take the Saints.
Yeah, so I got the Falcons in this game.
I take the Falcons. Your little Bijan.
Yeah, Bijan Robinson. No, Bijan Robinson sucks compared to Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm a Kyle Pitts.
That's what yeah.
No, but I got, dude, I was going to say their quarterback. I was going to say Desmond Ridder, but god damn, I can't bet on Desmond Ridder at all. I can't name anybody but Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson from this team.
But you are.
And Desmond Ridder, unfortunately. But I'm still taking the Falcons because
Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, I got the Falcons this one. No need to talk about it anymore. I give up on this.
Great reasoning.
I quit the list. I quit Pick'ems. But next game we got.
You're doing great this week. We didn't even review the records from this week yet.
Oh, we'll do it at the end. We're fine.
Okay, we'll do it at the end.
So, going on to the next game. Bucks versus Colts.
Colts are home in a 1 p.m. game. Give me the Colts. The Bucks have the 26th ranked defense. However, their run D is a little bit better, and that's what the Colts like to do. However, I trust the Colts to have a solid offensive game plan and move to above 500. They're 5-5 right now, especially at home. The real reason is I pick the Bucks a lot, and they always let me down because they are terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, speaking of the terrible Bucks and picking them a lot, I picked the Bucks this week against the Colts. Honestly, this game could go either way, but I feel like Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Gardner Minshew.
Wrong statement. What did you just say?
Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Gardner Minshew.
Okay.
I mean, Bucks.
Own it.
Don't
question it.
Their wide receiver room is 100% better than the Colts. their defenses both suck. Yeah, I got the Bucks in this game. This
All right.
It's a terrible game, but speaking of terrible games, let's move it on to the next.
The Charmin Ultra Game of the Week.
We got the Toilet Bowl in the New England Patriots.
Sponsored by Charmin.
New England Patriots versus New York Giants, who have a combined 4 wins? 5 wins. 5 wins. They both have 8 losses, but combined 5 wins.
Correct. I am taking the New York Giants home this week against the Patriots. Side note, I'd love to see a Patriots-Panthers game because 10 years ago, these were the 2 best teams in the NFL. And now they're like the 2 worst. They actually are the 2 worst, I think. According to the newest, was that ESPN rankings or was that NFL?
I think it's
NFL.
NFL.
Remember. But it might be for both too. But and DeVito just had the game of his career, 3 touchdown passes. I look for them to win at home against the Poverty Pats team. That's all I gotta say. Poverty Pats.
I'm going to continue riding on this train of taking the Giants for the 3rd week in a row. Tell me why I've taken the Giants 3rd week in a row. And tell me why after this week I might be 2-1 by taking the Giants 3 weeks in a row. But, yeah, I got the Giants. The Patriots are god-awful.
They are atrocious.
The Giants are also god-awful, but the Giants show more sign than the Patriots, I feel like. So I got the Giants in this game, but yeah, man, I don't even know. So we'll move on to the next game.
How are the Giants favorites in a game?
Yep. But we'll move on. We'll go next game. Cleveland Browns at the Denver Broncos.
At Denver at 4:05 on Sunday. Give me the Browns, dude. I'm like low-key falling in love with this team and how good they are defensively. Deshaun Watson went down with an injury, but it's okay because DTR is going to be sufficient enough. This defense will shut down the Denver Broncos anyways. Myles Garrett is giving Mr. Unlimited. Did you see Russell Wilson? Oh my god, bro. Oh my gosh. The Broncos are also the worst defense in the NFL. This is a battle of the worst defense in the NFL versus the best team, just so you know. So we'll see how that goes. Dude, and Russ is such a meme. Like, he needs to have like his brain scanned and have like an academic paper written on him. Because the fact he went on TikTok and was like, dude, like, I think everyone needs an alter ego. And I think I figured out my alter ego. It's Mr. Unlimited. You know why? Because you got to be unlimited. And I'm unlimited. I'm like, Russ, bro, you're 500. Run the ball. Okay. Give me the Browns.
Well, I'm going with Mr. Unlimited this week. With the Denver Broncos. This Denver Broncos team looks like a completely different team after that Dolphins game. They've been on a hot streak lately. Their defense has given up less points in the last, I think, 5 games than they did against the Dolphins. I really do think this Denver Broncos team is turning around. I think Russ is looking a lot better than he has been. I think Denver wins at home. I don't know the weather for this game, but normally around this time of year, weather in Denver is kind of shitty. But
it's supposed to snow here on Sunday.
Yeah,
so
but Lions are indoor. That doesn't matter, man.
They also don't play on Sunday.
Oh yeah,
idiot.
they play tomorrow. Or they play tonight when this comes out. But yeah, I'm taking the Broncos, and we're going to the next game. We have the Los Angeles Rams versus the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are favored by 1 point in this game versus the Rams.
And yeah, I don't know how they're favored by 1 point because I would take the Rams every day of the week. If I was a betting man, I'm hammering this Rams like to cover, not only to cover, but to also win the game. Stafford is back. He looked pretty good last week. Wide receivers are healthy. This team will dominate the Cardinals, and I have no doubts about that. I think that they easily upset them. Cardinals are favored, and I have no clue why. Is it because Kyler's back? Maybe, but I don't think that really matters because I feel like Josh Dobbs was better. Give me the Rams in a blowout.
Yeah, no, I got the Rams too in this game in Arizona. Matthew Stafford looked all right coming back from injury. Not like him old self, but he's obviously getting up there. Just came back from injury. Was injured last year. Like, he's not going to look like him old self. But I still got Matthew Stafford this game. Still miss that man a little. Jared Goff's got my heart now.
I don't miss him, but I like thinking that about him. What the?
Yup. Okay, moving on.
Pause.
We're moving on. We have the Buffalo Bills versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, I am taking the Eagles in a home game against the Bills. The Eagles are so good, and I see dang near no flaws with this team when they're healthy. I also really don't trust the Bills. They're 1-3 on the road this year. The Eagles are undefeated at home. I don't think that changes. I personally think that this is a pretty obvious pick. However, Bills, prove me wrong. I would like to see you win, honestly, and have the Lions slot in there at the number 1 slot in the NFC. I'd love to see that. So go ahead, Bills. Prove me wrong. Till then,
well, the Bills are going to prove you wrong because I got the Bills this week at Philadelphia. I don't know what I'm doing this week with my picks. It might be the worst picks.
That is the worst pick of the week.
Maybe the worst pick of the week. Definitely after, well, no, because Kansas City should have won that game, but MVS decided to drop the ball, and I would have beat you last week in pick'ems. But no, MVS has to drop the ball wide open. God, his high school coach was right for cutting him. Like, come on. His high school coach knows ball more than Andy Reid does.
He know ball, bro.
Get him out of the league. Yeah, no. I got the Bills in this game, though, against the Eagles. I don't know why I was just talking about the Chiefs. But Bills destroy the Eagles. Eagles suck. They're not the best team in the NFL for a reason. They've played poverty opponents. Definitely don't have the hardest schedule. But, yeah, I got the Bills. All right, moving on. We got the Chiefs versus the Raiders.
Oh, this is a facts podcast. Chiefs versus Raiders. It is an afternoon slotted game on Sunday in Las Vegas. I'm taking the Raiders. This is a weird one, but I'm taking the Raiders. I think the Chiefs look very bad right now. Like, I don't know what it is. The Taylor Swift curse has got him, but Travis Kelce does not look good. The Chiefs wide receivers look terrible. Hey, MVS was open, though, so shout out to him for that route run. But you got to catch the ball. But right now you have cinder block hands, so you can't. Aiden O'Connell, love you to death. I think you win. Devonta Adams, I think this is his breakout game this year. Give me the Raiders at home.
I got the Chiefs taking this one against the Raiders. Yes, the Chiefs has looked bad. Speaking of Taylor Swift, can we talk about certain song that I don't even remember how it goes. I know the song, but it's like the one where it's like the high school football star, like 15 years later. I don't know how I don't remember this song. I listened to it earlier today, but it's like you're dropping passes on the field. That looks like Travis Kelce and the entire Chiefs team right now. But I still got the Chiefs in this game. The Raiders, I don't know, man. I love Aiden O'Connell. This Raiders team is looking so much better than when they had their head coach. But
is it You Belong With Me? I think it is.
It is. It's You Belong With Me, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Good call. But yeah, I got the Chiefs in this game. I think they bounce back after the Eagles lost. Even though they haven't scored a second half touchdown since October 22nd.
Forgot about that.
But yeah, got the Eagles. Next game. Interesting one.
You mean you got the Chiefs? Yeah.
Gotcha. Did I say Eagles?
Ravens versus Chargers. Sunday night football in Los Angeles, where there will be 11,000 people in attendance. Give me the Chargers, dude. Dude, they have to win. Like, Herbert is playing way too well for them to lose again, bro. I'm done with the Herbert slander. I'm done, bro. I'm done. It's not Justin Herbert's fault, dude. He literally puts balls on people's throws footballs to his wide receivers' chests, and they drop them every single time. I watched Keenan Allen drop a wide open 12-yard laser to his chest pass for a touchdown. Quentin Johnston, who I already cannot stand because of the TCU Michigan game last year. I already can't stand him. And I'm watching this game versus the Packers, who I also hate even more. I'm like, Quentin Johnston, you are butt naked. Like butt naked. And my man Jay Herbo puts it in stride, right in the hands. You got to reach out a little bit. It's for the first down, bro. It's for the field. It's for just to get in field goal range. And you drop the ball. The Chargers, dude, like ever since they played the Lions, they like have looked pretty good offensively. If the wide receivers open their goddamn eyes and catch a ball one time, please. I don't like this pick, but I'm going with the Chargers.
You just talked so much trash on the Chargers and are picking them. The most wild thing ever. You go on a
I'm talking up my boy Jay Herbo, bro.
Minute rant about this Chargers team, and then you pick them. Most wild thing ever. But literally the same rant he was gonna do is the reason that I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens in this game. Marlon Humphrey might not have to guard anybody and just stand still this entire game and just literally stare at the wide receiver dropping balls, because we talked about the Kansas City Chiefs dropping balls. But let me tell you, this Chargers team, they're dropping balls on and off the field. Like,
how are they 4-6?
This team's horrible. Besides her,
I would have picked this team to be a Super Bowl contender earlier this year, or before the season started. Their roster is so good, and Khalil Mack's having an insane season that you just would not expect, and you're gonna waste it, bro. You have like on paper the best roster in the NFL. Like actually, like
yeah, no.
Let's just go through it real quick. Give me 30 seconds. Ready? It's Justin Herbert, top 10 quarterback, probably top 8. Austin Eckler, top 5 running back. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I know what Mike Williams hurt, and Quentin Johnston. That's a top 5 receiving core. All right. Let's move to the defensive side of the ball. Derwin James, insane. Probably one of the best safeties in the league. Off the edge, you got Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack has over 10 sacks this season. He's in the top 5 in sacks with guys like, drawing a blank, Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, who's number 1, Daniil Hunter is number 2 now. Those guys, he's with those guys. Khalil Mack, I think Khalil Mack's like 93. Anyways, how is this team not good? Casey Hayward Jr. too on that defense. I'm done. I'm done. If they lose this week, which they probably will, I'm going to be sad. That's all I got to say. That's all I have to say about the Chargers. That's it. I'm about to talk more about the Chargers than the Lions.
Yeah, no, we're taking the Ravens this week by a million. All right.
I didn't convince you otherwise.
Moving on to the next game, we got the Chicago Bears versus
they both
the
lose?
Astronaut and the Minnesota Vikings.
I saw a picture of Josh Dobbs' parents in like the suite at the game, and they just looked unenthused. They were just sitting there.
They look
like,
so disappointment.
man,
They look so
I
disappointed.
wish my son was in space right now.
So disappointed in this man.
They're like, why do we have to be here? I'm like, bro, your son is like tearing up the league right now, and you're just like, just sitting there monotonously watching the game. Give me the Bears, because I actually think that the offense looked pretty good against the Lions last week, and that's all I got actually. Who's going to guard Justin Fields? Who's going to stop him? I think if the Bears do the same thing they did against the Lions last week, except for that last drive, they will beat the Vikings pretty easily. I'm going to give the Bears.
Yeah, no, I got the Vikings in this game by 1 million.
Why by 1 million? They just almost beat the Lions.
No, I think it's going to be a close game, but the Bears can't close out a game.
There it is.
The Bears literally cannot. Like, they had a 98.6% chance to win that game with 4 minutes to go. It's like 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go. 98.6% chance to win, and you blow it. Obviously, it's to the Lions.
There was a stat I saw. I don't think I shared this on Monday, but there was or Tuesday. But there was a stat I saw, and it was teams this year this season who are down by 10 with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter are now 1-84 thanks to the Lions last week. The teams had been 0-84 since the game last week. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the Vikings are taking this one. I don't know how you take the Bears after watching their last.
I don't know why I picked
the last 4 minutes of the game.
They have 3 wins.
But yeah, nope. That's all we got for NFL Pick'ems this week. The records as they stand right now are 37-21 for Caleb and 34-24 for me. Obviously, we don't know ball that well because we both are over 20 in like 4 weeks.
But, I know ball.
Yeah, those are the picks of the week. I hope you guys bet with me because you're going undefeated this week.
All right. Back to the pod. Welcome back to regularly scheduled programming. Let's get into it.
We got the Detroit Red Wings.
The Red Wings, baby.
So far this season.
Brief segment.
So far this season, we're 8-6-3. We're still over 500. You can't complain too much about the season yet, unlike the Detroit Pistons, who will not be talked about in this episode because they can just be forgotten about. But yeah, let's get into it.
Hold on. Question. Is 8-6-3 really above 500?
I guess not, because it's 8-9 technically. I didn't think about that, but
we got a losing record.
Point wise, we're gaining points on more games than we're not gaining points, which is good for NHL standings.
Truth.
We are gaining points more than we're not gaining points, which is very good for the NHL standings. But yeah, let's get into it. So the last game we covered was the Blue Jackets, which is a couple games ago. We've had 2 games since. We lost 4-5 against the Senators. Overtime loss on November 16th. In that game, we did have 6 heartbreaker game. Came down to the wire, but we did have 6 total penalties. But luckily, we only gave up 1 power play goal. But we still ended up giving up 5 total goals that game. The Red Wings had 41 total shots on goal compared to the Senators' 34 shots on goal.
That's pain.
So we outshot them, but they put more behind the net. But yeah, goals were scored in the net. Goals were scored by DeBrincat, Raymond, Gostisbehere, and Perron.
Oh God,
we're in shambles. But yeah, so 4 different goal scorers, still moving the puck around pretty well. Assist, you had 2 by Compner, you had 2 by Gostisbehere, and you had 2 by Mata. So Gostisbehere had 1 goal and 2 assists. Great game by him. He was definitely the Best
incredible game.
Player of that game, I believe it was Reimer in goal, so sucks to see him struggling again. But yeah, that's really all I got from that game. Very close game. Heartbreaker.
We're not losing games by
No.
much, which is good to see, but we'd like to see those turn around our way.
It's been a lot of one-score games recently. But yeah, going on to the next game to cover, we had a loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs on November 17th, so the day after the Senators' loss. In this game, Sprong and Raymond both scored, and assists by DeBrincat and Sherratt. DeBrincat has been doing pretty well recently, but yeah. It was actually pretty even, 29 shots on goal to 29 shots on goal. It was Alex Lyon's first time in goal of the season.
I did see that.
.897 save percentage in the game, so it's not like horrible. But one thing I want to see from this team, a key takeaway, is we need to find a consistent goalie. We now have 3 different goalies. No idea who to start, and all of them have just not been performing well. But the defense needs to step up too. One thing I've noticed. Going back to the game, we had 5 penalties in that game. So in the last 2 games combined, we've had 11 total penalties, which is not very good to see. Maple Leafs did have 6. I don't know what the power play goals in the game were. I forgot to get that stat, so my bad. But yeah, some of the key takeaways I have is I do. We scored 0 power play goals in both of those games, I'm pretty sure. So
nice.
That's not good. So key takeaways, again, just need to find that consistent goalie. Defense needs to improve. Offense has still been doing very well. I'm loving our offense this year.
That's good.
Good. We need to stay out of the penalty box more and limit the turnovers. We've been giving up the puck a lot, and it struggles to see. It's hard to see. I think this team could be a very, very good team. I mean, we still are a pretty good team, but I think this team could be much better if we didn't give up the puck so much. And lastly, power play percentage needs to get back up and improve. We were number 1 in power. No, we were number 2, I think, behind the Devils. I think we were number 2. We might have been number 1 at one point this year, but I don't know where we're at now, but it needs to improve. We need to get back up. That's really all I got from the last 2 Red Wings game. Not much to cover, not much to say. We'll go more in depth on the Red Wings season once it hits quarter of the season, which is here soon. Same with the Pistons. We're going to go in depth on both of those teams once the quarter point happens in the season. You got anything else to cover on the Red Wings, Caleb?
Not really. Just it sounds like you're talking about the Pistons, and so speaking of the Pistons, I will cover them. So, quick season recap. We're 2-13. No, that's not a mistake. I said that out loud and correct. 2-13. 2 wins, 13 losses. Speaking of losses, we've lost 12 games in a row. Let me fix this. That's worst in the East. Worst in the NBA, actually. Worst record in the NBA. Yeah, there's honestly, you know what I looked up though? The Spurs right now, they're on like a 9-game losing streak.
We have a chance. When do we play the Spurs?
We have a chance. Yep, season record is 26. I think we'll get there, to be honest. I don't know, actually. We have 2 very winnable games coming up. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, just some brief stats on the season as we hit getting close to this quarter long checkpoint. Couldn't think for a second. Too busy thinking about the Pistons, which makes my brain go numb. All right, stats. 27th in points per game, 109.5. That's terrible. 6th in rebounds per game. That's good. You know what makes you get a lot of rebounds, though? Missing shots. We are averaging 45.9 rebounds per game. That's 6th in the league. 10th in assists per game. I honestly don't know how.
How are we 27th in points per game?
Anyways.
10th in assists. That's the most wild thing ever.
Because teams who actually score, they just give it to their best player and
stat.
say, have at it, Chief.
I didn't know we were top 10 in any stats.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that we're top 10 in 2 stats.
We're cracked.
Best team in the league.
NBA Finals ring coming soon. Let's move on. 29th in steals per game with 5.8. So I mean that's pretty good. That's not worse. That's not the worst. What really kills us, and I was talking to some guys earlier this week, is turnovers. We are 30th now in turnovers. Didn't used to be that way. Used to be 29th, but now we're 30th with 16.8 turnovers per game. That's over 4 a quarter. An average possession length in the NBA is what, like 20 seconds, would you say? So that means we're getting 3 possessions a minute, so 36 possessions, or math, that didn't make sense. 45 possessions. 1.5 possessions per minute. So that's what, like 23-ish possessions per quarter. So that means you're turning the ball over about once every 6 possessions.
That math isn't right. 12-minute quarters.
Yeah, no, it's not.
1.5.
Oh, is it 12-minute? I was doing 15.
No, it's 12.
It's more than that then. So it's 18.
Yeah.
So that means you're getting 18 possessions a quarter. Roughly. God, that's even worse. That's like 1 every 4 or 5 possessions. Holy Moses! Also, speaking of turnovers, and doing bad things, we're 30th in personal fouls per game. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Is we sound like the Red Wings. We turn the puck over, we turn the ball over. We get some penalty miss. We force some fouls, baby. We get some fouls.
We weren't talking.
You earning your buckets out here.
We weren't talking about this team. I was ready to have a happy podcast. Ready to have a happy podcast.
All right, we're done. Good start for the Pistons this season. We'll talk more about it next week.
All right. I guess it's a good start for the Pistons.
Good start for the
But
Pistons.
moving on, we got the Motown Madness Players of the Week. We did miss this segment last week because I was gone. But this week, we got it. This week, I picked the present. Caleb has the past for the present. I had to go with this guy. He had a sneaky good game. Not many people, I feel like, are talking about it. Some people are, but you'll never see it from the media. You'll never see it from anybody but Lions people.
He's nasty. He's consistent.
You had Alex Anzalone, 15 total tackles, 11 solo, 1 fumble recovery. He was the first Lions player since 2010 to have 15-plus tackles and a fumble recovery in a game.
I don't know if that's impressive or sad.
It's both. It's both.
I'd say impressive.
It's impressive for the
15 tackles is a lot.
It's impressive for the player that did it. It's sad that it hasn't been done on the Lions since 2010.
I can see it though. 15 tackles is a lot, and then throw a fumble recovery in there.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Another guy I want to talk about real quick. He's not the player of the week, but I wanted to give a shout out to Brian Branch, who had 3 TFLs and looked really good in that Lions run game against the Bears. He was close to making the list.
He also had a lot of passing penalties.
He also had some penalties, and that's why he's not. That's why Anzalone is.
That's why he's scratched.
Will you take us on to the past?
I would love to take us on the past. So as you guys know, it is the week of Thanksgiving. And we're going to talk more about the Lions and Thanksgiving in a little bit later in the episode. But first of all, our past Motown Madness Player of the Week is the greatest Lions kicker of all time, Jason Hansen. Jason Hansen has the NFL record for most games played with one team. He played 327 career games with the Detroit Lions, which get that man a therapist because he must be going through it. That's over 21 years he spent, or that is 21 years he spent in the NFL with the Lions. He is 2,150 career points. That puts him 4th all time, behind some of the greatest kickers of all time. Anna Vinatieri's up there. The dude from Michigan State, Morton Anderson, he's up there too. 240 consecutive games at a point or with 1 point. So with a PAT field goal, that is first all time. And the reason I shot him on Thanksgiving is because of that game in 1998 versus Steelers, where they had to change the rule for coin tosses because Jerome Bettis changed his mind mid-coin toss, and the referee said, nope, I heard this first, and then they whatever, and the Lions ended up winning. Jason Hanson kicked 4 field goals that game, including a game winner in overtime. So shout out Jason Hanson, man. Absolute legend. I remember watching him growing up, dude. He was always an absolute goat when he came out on the floor. He had also a really cool pregame routine. I remember watching that in person. He was like one of the first guys out there, and he goes right behind the end zone where people can see him and stuff. He's kicking around and stuff in street clothes. I'm like, dude, you're a dog. You're a stray dog.
Oh yeah, 100% dog.
So those are our players of the week.
All right, moving on.
If you guys have any suggestions for players of the week in the future, go ahead and comment on our Instagram posts. Let us know who you think should be the next Motown Madness past or present player of the week.
Maybe one thing I thought about start doing, if you guys enjoy it, comment down if you think it would be a good idea, is if on the Instagram, the day before we film the podcast or the day of we film the podcast, we post an Instagram poll on our story and post 3 to 4 guys that could be voted as the Motown Madness player of the week. And we just go over the stats of the week with you.
I like that.
So that's one thing I thought about doing. Let me know if you guys like that idea, and we'll start doing that. But moving on. So, next segment, we got the game this week. We have the biggest rivalry in college sports. The biggest rivalry in all sports.
Tell him.
I don't even know. But the biggest game that you could think of this year, you have number 2 ranked Ohio State at number 3 ranked Michigan in the matchup of undefeated teams, both 11-0 for a 3rd straight year to see who goes to the Big Ten championship. And speaking of this game, this is the last time where this game could have these implications, because
this is
the last game of possibly it's not the end of the rivalry, but it's an end of the era in this rivalry, because with the Big Ten expansion to 18 teams, they're cutting divisions, and so Ohio State and Michigan could play twice in a year now, one being in the Big Ten championship game. So, it is going to be different. You could see these game twice next year. But Michigan looks to get their 3rd straight win against Ohio State for the first time since 1995 to 1997. That 1997 year where we got our 3rd straight win, we won the national championship. When we get our 3rd straight win this year and go to the college football playoffs...
Was that Desmond?
We're getting the national championship. No doubt about it.
We're going to the
Natty. Nobody's stopping us. Georgia's ass. Every other team, ass.
I saw a situation where there might be no SEC teams in the college football playoff, and it could happen. It could happen.
We'll see. Florida State's got to win without Jordan Travis, though. It's going to be a tough one for them.
Yes.
Sucks to see him go down.
And I did see they dropped to 5, which is not surprising.
Yeah. So. But going back to the game. Michigan are 3-point favorites in this game. Harbaugh obviously will not be on the sideline because of his suspension. Bogus suspension.
Boo.
We'll talk about that. Big Ten.
Boo the Big Ten.
Sucks, but whatever. Roman Wilson, Michael Barrett, and a couple others are expected to be healthy by the game. I don't see anybody sitting out. I don't think there's no way anybody could sit out this game. I just don't see it. Speaking of this game, some key takeaways I have going into this game. Where it is a slightly worse defense than Penn State, not much. Ohio State's air raid offense does give me worries. Definitely, it gives me worries. Michigan's offense.
We got the corners to shut him down, though. We got the corners to shut him down.
Will Johnson. That man, Mike
Sandristil.
Dog.
Who's
Junior
him?
Colston at linebacker. Dog. We got dogs everywhere.
defense
on the
is
field.
so
Dogs
good.
everywhere. We got Michael Barrett in the pass rush. We got dogs on the field. Sorry.
We got Jim Harbaugh in the hotel room watching the game. Dog.
We have assistant coach Sharon Moore. All right. Sharon Moore is up for assistant coach of the year this year.
If he wins this game,
He's winning assistant coach of the year.
has to be. Has to be.
You have to come in as the head coach for Penn
It's
State,
not even
Maryland,
close.
and Ohio State. Penn State, a top 10 team. Ohio State, a top 4 team, top 2 team.
And whatever team that he beat earlier in the year.
Yeah. I don't remember when he actually was the head coach for.
I don't know which one he actually
It was one of the
coached
first
for,
3 games this season. But yeah, I think he wins it after we win this game by 1 million. But yeah, going on.
It ought to be unanimous.
Michigan's offense cannot play the way they did, though, against Ohio State this weekend like they did against Maryland. Because if we play offensively like we did against Maryland, does our defense have to do better? And our defense was insane last week. Defense, play the same. Defense, if you play the same and our offense improves, we win this game. Because our defense, insane last week. I love this team. Michigan right now, offensively, we average 399.6 yards per game. Ohio State averages 429.3. So yards speaking, Ohio State does have a better offense than us. Do they? No. Because J.J. McCarthy maybe has played 3 fourth quarters this year. So is there really, we don't.
And the one, he just handed the ball off the whole
And our
game.
defense is so good.
In Penn State.
We're tied right now with defensive touchdowns in the NCAA.
That's crazy.
We just got a whole bunch of dogs on the field.
I love this defense.
Passing wise, we average 228.6 yards per game, while Ohio State averages 283. But defensively passing, we give up 234 yards per game. Ohio State gives up 252. So they give up more yards passing than us. We don't give up that many yards passing. Secondary, filled with dogs. You'll hear me say dogs probably about 20 more times in this segment, but it doesn't matter because dogs. Rushing wise,
we can't be saying that when Michigan's playing Georgia in the college football playoff championship because we can't be saying dogs.
True, we cannot say dogs. But rushing wise, Michigan averages 171 rushing yards on the ground per game. Insane. Ohio State, 145. That's like 30 less yards. You think you're going to do anything against this defense? What's insane, though? Oh, sorry. Going back to passing real quick. Michigan has this... Wait. I messed up the stats completely. Sorry, guys. Everybody. Messed up that first part of
Facts podcast.
Okay. Michigan defensively only gives up 234.8 yards per game. Ohio State gives up 252. Total yards, not passing yards. That's total yards. Passing yards, it's 100 and... Oh, wait. We're first defensively for yards. Ohio State's third. Okay. Now moving on. I'm in shambles.
We're in shambles.
We're
in shambles here.
Passing defensively, we're second with 144.8 passing yards per game given up.
I wonder who's number one.
Ohio State. But 144.4. It is 0.4 yards.
0.4, which 0.4 is a lot of
0.4,
yards.
a lot of yards. Like,
that's like 14 inches. That's a lot.
Dude, 0.1 is a lot. All right.
Isn't it crazy to think that that's literally 14 inches? They average 14 inches more.
Yeah. They average 14.
That's
they average
insane.
almost 14 inches more.
Roughly
14 inches.
Maybe
I don't know what it is for sure.
No,
Facts
15,
podcast.
15,
Facts
15,
podcast.
15. Go 15. Go 15. No, 14. Yeah, something like that. 14, 15.
All right. But going
That's
back to
my guess.
rushing, so U of M, 171 on the ground per game. Offensively, Ohio State, 145. Defensively,
So we're better in rushing.
Defensively, Michigan gives up, we're 9th. Michigan gives up 90 yards per game on the ground.
Yikes.
Ohio State, they're 21st. They give up 108.5 yards.
Oh, we're running them all day.
We're running on them all day.
We're running on them all day.
Blake Corum did not get to play this game last year. You don't think Blake Corum is going to have the game of his life against Ohio State? He's like 118 yards away right now from a 1,000-yard rushing season. He's one touchdown away for setting the single-season record at Michigan for the most rushing touchdowns. You don't think that he's going to do that? He will, at the end of this game, he will rush for over 118 yards. I guarantee you 2 rushing touchdowns on the ground. 2.
Wow.
Guarantee you over.
I love to see
getting over the 1,000 mark this year, and he's hitting the single season record, which he only needs 1, but I guarantee you 2 on the ground. Turnovers, defensively wise, Michigan has 25 turnovers on the season.
Turnovers forced. That's nuts.
14 interceptions, 11 forced fumbles. So it's, I don't know if it's actually, sorry, it might not be 25 exactly, but we've forced 11 fumbles, so we could have 25 turnovers. I don't think we recovered all. And I don't know if that stat was for fumbles recovered or forced fumbles. It literally would not tell me. I tried to figure it out, but yeah. Ohio State only has 14. 7 interceptions, 7 forced fumbles. They don't get many turnovers. Michigan is better in almost every single stat besides yards per game and passing yards. Defensively,
so
better in both stats besides passing yards by 0.4. It's the same. I'm saying we're better. We're better.
This is like a really, really like weird year for this game because Michigan has a better quarterback than they have in the past. Ohio State has a worse quarterback to have in the past. Ohio State has good receivers. Michigan, I wouldn't say as good, but they're still really good. We're comparing them to Marvin Harrison Jr., by the way. So
we're comparing them to 2 players that are projected to go top 15 in the draft. Like,
yeah,
you can't compare to that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's not a typical Michigan Ohio State game. It's Michigan ground pound, gritty defense versus like strength versus Ohio State, whose speed, agile, will chuck the ball on you, and it's like will score a ton of points. This year, they're closer on the wavelength here of like where we are. Like they're very similar teams this year, and I'm pretty excited. It's literally just the battle of who can do their thing better. Because Ohio State's got a great running back, great run offense. Trayvon Henderson is one of the best running backs in college football.
Actually, I saw a ranking list, and he was 28th or something like that in the ranking list, and I thought that was crazy.
All right, that's B. Is that where he's projected to get drafted?
No, that was ranking wise for running backs in college football right now. He was like 28th.
That is probably the stupidest
worst take of all time
because he's definitely.
And I hate Ohio State, and I'm saying they have one of the best receiving corps.
He's got to be top 10,
and they have a top 10 running back, and I hate them. That's tough for me to say as a Michigan fan.
Yeah,
but this is a facts podcast, and I'm trying to get you what this matchup is going to be like. This matchup,
it's saying that if we win this, it means more for us.
And think about it. Ohio State has a head coach this game. We don't have our head coach this game.
We don't.
Because of some stupid scandal.
Head coaches this game, 0.
Give me a second. Some stupid scandal that Ryan Day's brother, who owns an investigation firm.
Oh my gosh. Don't even get into this,
reported.
Oh my
it was Ryan Day's brother. That's how much Ryan Day is scared of us. Ryan Day is 1-2 against us.
He's shaking.
He has like 2 losses or 3 losses versus everybody else in the country. He has 2 losses to Michigan. He don't know what to do against
loses. When they lose on Saturday, Will there be a position needing to be filled as Ohio State head football coach
Yes.
come off season?
And it's Urban Meyer.
Do you think he gets
It's Urban
fired?
Meyer coming back. Hopefully no.
Why did the previous Michigan coaches get fired?
Couldn't beat Ohio State.
They couldn't beat Ohio State.
Could,
Nothing to do
I
with the
don't.
record.
I think they
beat Ohio
give Ryan
State.
Day one more year. If Ryan Day can't, if we beat them this year, they give Ryan Day one more year, and if he can't do it next year, he's gone. They lose 4 straight to Michigan.
All right,
He's gone.
I agree. I agree. It's at most one more year.
At most one more year. I say that because they did make the college football playoffs this year. Somehow they didn't make it to a championship game. College football was weird last year. A lot of 2-loss teams last year. Like the way college football has been
This year, it's a lot of undefeated and 1-loss teams.
this year.
Like, holy cow!
Anything could happen. I feel like literally anything could happen.
It's going to be 4 undefeated teams in the college football playoff.
Yeah. But you got any more thoughts on the game, the biggest rivalry in sports? College Game Day will be there. Barstool Sports will be there. Big Ten Network will be there.
Pat
Pat McAfee will obviously be there. This game, oh my God.
If it was any other weekend besides Thanksgiving weekend, I would be going to Ann Arbor.
100%. If I didn't have to work on Saturday,
I would be
I'd be going to Ann Arbor.
I usually go to these big games and tailgate, but this year being a Thanksgiving weekend, probably not going to go. So,
all right.
I will be enjoying it from my TV.
Wow. Moving on to another rivalry. Another big rivalry in sports. Not as big this year because they suck. The Packers are ass.
Because the Packers are trash.
We got the Lions segment. Take us into it, Caleb.
This Thursday, Thanksgiving, we have the Lions who play the Packers 12:30 on Thanksgiving Day in Detroit, in Ford Field. Fans are going to be wild, sold out crowd. The Lions are coming off 3 straight wins. They're the 2nd ranked offense in the league, the 9th best ranked defense in the league. The Packers, 2-4 since we played them. 21st ranked offense, 17th ranked defense. Oh, you're giving me a thumbs down. They're so bad, dude. They're terrible. Like, they're in shambles. Like, I thought our podcast earlier in the episode was in shambles. No, Packers are in shambles. And there's not really anything else to say. I think we all expect or know what's going to happen in this game. But I just want to give a quick stat read here. The Green Bay Packers running backs in the last 4 games, and this is according to Woodward Sports Network. The Green Bay Packers running backs in the last 4 games, Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, who are regarded as one of the best running back duos in the league. Allegedly, supposedly, they have 82 carries for 301 yards and 1 touchdown over the past 4 games. Jahmyr Gibbs, by himself, no Monty, over the last 4 games, has 59 rushes. So what is that? 23 less rushes, 23 less carries for 333 yards and 5 touchdowns. So he's single-handedly outperforming one of the best running back duos in the league.
Speaking of the Packers running backs, they are on the injury report for tomorrow. Aaron Jones.
Oh, yeah. Give me the injury report.
Aaron Jones and Darnell Savage are both out.
Ooh. That's tough for them.
Questionable for the Packers. Jair Alexander. Devondre Campbell. A.J. Dillon.
Okay. Wow.
Rudy Ford. And Dotavian Wicks. That is the Packers injury report. I don't have the Lions one. This was per Adam Schefter on Twitter. Just got the tweet for it.
Seems reliable.
He is known to know a couple things.
That is going to be brutal for them. If they have no Devondre and no Jair, that's a wrap.
Dude, what are they going to? Who's their running back if they don't have A.J. Dillon or Aaron Jones?
I don't know who their third string is.
I don't know. This Packers team is
I
in
don't know.
shambles, just like this podcast, but it's fine. It's fine. What else you got?
Basically, we expect the Lions to dominate.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. All right. Now we're going to get into, I'm going to ask you some Lions Thanksgiving trivia questions because why not, dude? It's Lions trivia time, dude. It's Thanksgiving. We got to get after it.
I was not prepared for this.
A lot of history here. He's completely unprepared. These are questions I didn't make it up. I didn't tell him ahead of time. So I don't expect him to get these answers right, guys. Don't flame him. You can flame him. Here we go. Number 1. He's dialed in now. Ready? What year did the Lions first start playing on Thanksgiving?
Oh, God.
If you get the decade right, I'll be impressed.
19. Was it, wait, before or after the Super Bowl era?
Before.
1934. Did I nail it?
What did you just say?
1934.
What did you just say? 1934 is the right answer.
Oh my God. No, I swear on my life, don't have the answers. Don't have the questions.
No, canceled. He's cheating. He's cheating. He has a screen.
You can't really look at my screen, but you can look at my screen.
Bro is Connor Stallions. I did not know that I was doing a podcast with Connor Stallions right now.
That is wild. I'm glad I asked that question because my first guess was going to be 1963. And
they did take a few years off for World War II, kind of important. But since then, they've been playing every year. Speaking of the games they're playing, question number 2. How many Lions Thanksgiving games have ended in a tie?
4.
This is a tough question. 4 is incorrect. It is actually 2 games. The Lions on Thanksgiving since 1934 are 37, 44, and 2. Next question. Which team have they played the most on Thanksgiving? I do expect you to get this one right.
Packers?
It is the Packers. They played the Packers 21 times. It's going to be 22. And today, when this comes out, it's going to be 22 times. Yeah, that's a lot of times. I know you're like, I got to go NFC North.
See,
it's got to be the Packers.
I
That's
was
right.
thinking almost the Cowboys because I didn't know if the Cowboys and Lions just started playing each other, but that wouldn't make sense. And they're like separate games. Do you know when the Cowboys started playing on Thanksgiving? Was it the same time the Lions did?
Oh my gosh! No.
Okay, I thought it was.
I think the Cowboys started playing in the 60s or 70s.
I thought it was way.
Actually,
after.
I know it was the 60s.
I thought
or 70s.
it was way after, but
yeah,
that was you don't have to look
know.
it up. We'll move on from that, but I just didn't.
Yeah, it's the 60s or 70s. I do know that, but no, the Lions started way before.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and that was so actually the Lions became a team in 1934, I believe. They were that we should definitely know this.
Portsmouth Spartans.
But they were that Ohio team. Yes, they were the Portsmouth Spartans. Nice, dude. Good pull. Extra credit, dude. They were the Portsmouth Spartans until 1934, and I think that's when they started playing on Thanksgiving. Was 1934? They started playing the Bears. So, previously we talked about Jason Hansen and the 1998 rule change, which resulted from the Lions Thanksgiving game. There was actually one more game that's actually more recent that resulted in an NFL rule change. What year and what was the rule change? And I will give you a hint. I
know.
I was at this game, and it was my first Lions game.
See, I was trying to think of it, but there's no way it was because I'm pretty sure that game was against the Cowboys.
Do you want me to? I'll give you another hint. It was against the Houston Texans.
Okay. Real quick, I feel like this was against the Cowboys. The Calvin Johnson rule. Was that against the Cowboys? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Was not on Thanksgiving.
I thought so. I just wanted to make sure because I was thinking the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Year? It was your okay.
Year and what was the
Okay.
rule?
So the year your first, dude, I remember you going to this game. You were young, I was young. Dude, I'm thinking you were like 12.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it was like 2014 for the year.
Okay, and can you give me the rule?
Man, I got no idea. Is it
That's fine. This is a tough
is it like
question.
a flag rule or like
It is a flag
Okay.
rule. It is a flag
for
rule.
some reason, I don't know why, but is it like is it something to do with the hair?
No.
Okay. For some reason, I thought because I felt like they used to get penalized if they pulled on the person's hair, like it was a horse collar penalty for pulling on hair, and I didn't
Yeah.
know because I know the hair is
No.
now part of. Oh.
Yeah. No, not this. Any other guesses? I'll give you 5 seconds.
Is it I got nothing. I got nothing with the rule change.
So it is a flag rule. However, it's not a penalty flag rule. It's a challenge flag rule. So this happened in 2012 against the Texans. Jim Schwartz threw a challenge flag on a scoring play where Arian Foster ran about 60 yards and thought his knee was down. Yep, you remember it? It's all coming back to you now, right?
God, kill me!
I was at this game, and Jim Schwartz threw the challenge flag on a coaching or on a scoring play, and you're not allowed to do that because it's automatically reviewed. It's a 15-yard penalty, and then they can't review the play anymore. Which, I'm glad they changed that rule. But why was that a rule to begin with? That is the stupidest rule ever. Just because you threw the challenge flag on a play that you wanted to challenge, you got penalized for it? How does that even make sense? So they changed that rule. Apparently, I didn't know this was the thing, but apparently, like, officials and like rule makers and stuff actually call this the Jim Schwartz rule, which is hilarious. And yeah, it resulted in that rule.
The Lions have like 7 rules named after them. I swear to God.
Yeah, I know, right? Pass interference rule. It's
All right,
crazy.
Speaking of this real quick, I don't remember if this was Thanksgiving last year. But if you're a Detroit Lions fan, you know of the curse of Bobby Lane. And if you don't, you're a complete bandwagon. But I think it was last year when Peyton Manning went onto the field in the end zone and he did I don't know if it was a commercial, if it was like a thing before the game or whatever, but there was something where Peyton Manning went onto the field and lifted the curse of Bobby Lane. It was like he had a tub of whiskey in the end zone, and he was out there with somebody. I don't remember who. It was a famous actor. It wasn't a Lions player. It was a famous actor, I'm pretty sure. And the actor was like, why didn't you use this dark magic why didn't you use this voodoo stuff on Belichick? And Peyton said it was Belichick's dark magic was too strong. Ever since then, we have like 4 losses.
That's wild. Was that last year?
It was right before we started going on that win streak at the end of the season. We might have. And
I just want to give a quick recap because the curse of Bobby Lane is it's like a Lions thing, right? It's not really an NFL thing, so you might not know. But I'm going to give my understanding of it. Basically, in like the 50s or something, Bobby Lane was a quarterback for the Lions and helped them win championships. And then we traded him away, and then we haven't won since. Is that essentially
when Bobby Lane got traded away, he said, you guys will never win anything for like said he will never win anything again or for the next 75 years. Since then, we've won 1 playoff game, haven't made it to the Super Bowl. Ever since that commercial or whatever it was, pregame thing, where Peyton went onto the field and lifted the curse, we have like 3 or 4 losses. All I'm saying is, thank you, Peyton Manning. Wild. We love you for lifting the curse.
I'm a new huge Peyton Manning fan, dude. That's wild. I didn't know that was a thing.
I've seen it for the last little bit, and kept wanting to bring it up, and I'm pretty sure it was Thanksgiving, but it might have been just before Thanksgiving or just after. But I think it was Thanksgiving. But I know it was around this time, so I wanted to bring it up now because I just saw a video.
That's about the only time the Lions get national
yeah.
coverage. So
until this year. This year we have like 6 national coverage games. But
yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got. You got anything else?
That's sweet. That's gonna be it for me. Actually, that's all the questions I had. You did pretty good, dude. 34. That was
34
crazy.
poll was wild.
Clip it on. We're gonna clip that on TikTok for sure. That's gonna be it for us this week. Thanks for tuning into the pod this week. Bit of a long one, I think. But it's all full of good stuff about Detroit sports. Catch the Red Wings in action on Wednesday night, which is tonight, so you won't see it, versus the Devils. And Friday at Boston, playing the Bruins there. And then they play Sunday as well versus the Wild. That's at home. Catch the Pistons losing on Friday against the Pacers. That, I think, is another in-season game tournament for the Pacers. They're hosting in their cool court. So we're not going to win that game. Definitely not. Remember, we're doing that new strategy where we just say the Pistons are bad, and we're going to hope that it's like
they prove us wrong.
Whatever. It's opposite. Yeah, it's opposite day. They also play Monday versus the Wizards. That's at home. Home versus the Wizards, that's a very winnable game. I do hope that
Jordan Poole's dropping 60.
All right.
Kyle Kuzma's dropping 60 also. Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole are combining for 120 points scored. We're giving up 180 points combined. Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole might have 10 assists each, honestly, even though they never pass the ball.
Bro, what?
I don't know, man. I've given up on this Pistons team. I hate this team.
Bro, Caleb goes on and on about the Chargers. Ben goes on and on about the Wizards.
After I went on and on about UNC field hockey last podcast.
Dude, that post came up on my Instagram feed, and I sent it to you. I don't know if you saw that, but it was like the whole interview with it. I was like, that's so funny. They're listening. Anyways, happy Thanksgiving, y'all. See you in the next one. We out of here. Peace. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on to never miss another video of ours. Check out our Instagram at motown.madness for daily posts and content all about Detroit sports. And check out our TikTok, motown.madness, for clips and highlights of each episode.